We're recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
We're here.
shooting the
Heroin.
heroin.
Yeah. Real party boys.
Shooting meth.
Shooting black people like the cops, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that pretty much right away because that's the talk of the town right now.
It's huge.
That's the
Huge news.
Republicans are going crazy with the case of the girl who got shot by a cop when she was stabbing another girl. And they're like, oh, so liberals want people to just be stabbed now? Like, no. No, there's also like a bajillion other cases where cops have done something really bad.
Yeah.
But I would also argue that
they're trying to defend the boy who was shot in Chicago. The 14-year-old who he ran away from the cops. So they
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They thought he had a gun, but he turned around with his hands up and they shot him.
Yeah.
And killed him.
Yeah, his hands were up, but they shot anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, I think, right?
Yeah. Like he hit... No, I think we just watched a video or something. I don't think we talked about it.
Okay.
But... Or maybe we did. I don't remember. But he...
I think we talked about it at work. I don't know.
Well, Jeremiah wasn't there for that.
I don't know. It's weird.
So... But he had his hands up, like, up in the air, and then he got shot.
You can clearly see that he has nothing in his hands.
Right. And I mean... I don't know. I understand if you're, like... If you think they're putting a gun at you, but, like... I don't know. You say put your hands up... and they move their arms, you're literally telling them to move their arms. So, like...
Well, so he did have a gun on him, but not when he was shot. He, threw it.
Yeah, he, threw it. Also, he's, 14 or something, so...
Yeah, and the girl who was shot was 15, 16.
Yeah, she was 16.
The cop, fucking mag dumped into her, too.
Yeah.
He shot her 4 times.
You're supposed to... Well, I don't know if you're supposed to. People have said you're supposed to. I don't actually know. But, they don't pull their guns out to shoot people in the leg. They pull their guns out to kill.
Yeah, they magged them.
They don't want you to get fucking back up. They want you to stay fucking down.
Right.
And not ever get up ever again for the rest of your life.
I don't know why.
I mean, that's the point of shooting somebody. It just shouldn't be the first.
Yeah, if you're going to do a non-lethal takedown is this other thing on their belt that's called a taser.
Or even, if you really itching to shoot someone, don't put 10 fucking bullets in them.
Well...
I mean, just shoot them in,
They want, like I said,
mean,
they're ending your life right there. That's the point. Yeah.
They can actually get in trouble for maiming.
Yeah.
It's easier for them to get in trouble for maiming or permanently disabling than it is for killing because people don't sue when they're dead.
Exactly.
So dumb.
Yeah, I mean, you're better, cops who don't, actually kill whoever they shoot will often get in trouble, so yeah. You're better off just killing. So, the thing is, a lot of people are like, he's actually a hero. This cop's a hero because he saved another girl from being stabbed.
Yeah.
I would argue it's really not good to shoot first and ask questions later.
Yeah.
I would argue that, I've read one story and you told me the same thing. I was trying to fact check you basically.
Yeah.
That she was defending herself from being jumped.
Yep.
That is what one person who watched said.
Yeah.
Obviously they could be lying. But
yeah.
Obviously they could be lying. They could be making it up. However, we don't really know now because the girl's dead. So
yeah.
And that's why they shoot people dead so that way they don't tell their story.
What I heard was she was being assaulted by these 2 girls on her property.
In the video, there's a guy fighting someone too at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a fucking crazy fight going on.
Yeah.
And so a cop came.
And the girl with the knife was the one who called the cops on them.
Right.
And then the cops came and shot her, so.
Yeah.
Don't call the cops if you want to live.
Never call the cops, especially if you're black. But yeah, if you watch the video, she is mid-swing when the cop shoots her. So it's I get it. This is not the hill to die on. This is again, of all the fucking cases, I'm not dying on this hill. I'm just saying, I still don't think you should shoot first and ask questions later. That's all I'm saying. Because it sucks if you're actually defending yourself and you die for it. Yeah. So growing up, it sucks when you're defending yourself, but you get in trouble. But like, she's dead. There's no lesson to be learned. You know, there's no, you know, like,
yeah,
it's over for her.
My friend kept saying, "Well, that cop saved a girl from getting killed."
Yeah, so
no, but he
killed someone. Yeah,
yeah, he still killed someone.
One of them,
person is dead.
If
still.
one of them was going to die, yeah, well, there you go.
Right.
But the difference is that other girl who got stabbed might not have even died.
That's what I said. I was like, a knife wound is not nearly
a kitchen knife.
Yeah,
you know,
it's not nearly as fatal as 4 bullets to the fucking chest. Like,
yeah, and I don't know. I understand a gun is faster than a taser, but I honestly don't think it was. I don't think he thought that quickly in his head. I think he just reached and he grabbed his gun and fucking...
They always grab a gun.
And I think that's part of the problem here. I don't think... I think if teenagers are calling you, you should probably just not reach for your gun. But, I mean, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Or if, like, at a traffic stop, you should not walk up to the car with your gun.
The kid who died, you know, the kid... How old was he? I keep calling him a kid, but he can drive, so obviously he's somewhat of an adult. But he, that guy, he got, it was a faulty, it was like a expired license plate. Which, right now, you're not supposed to be pulled over for that because there's a bunch of backup. I actually still don't have my, but I paid for it in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
And they still haven't sent it to me.
Yeah. So,
I don't know what to do about that. But the thing is that it's like, that's why cops shouldn't be pulling over people for that right now.
Yeah.
And like, most cops aren't going to pull you over for that. So the fact that he died for it makes, like, tragic is not a good enough word. Like, it just makes,
but even,
it's not.
Yeah, because I mean, I hate it when I see videos of like cops at a traffic stop and they, as soon as they get to the window, they pull out their gun.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
There's a lot of videos like that, and it's so bizarre, because, like, most of us have the experience of a cop pulling you over and them just literally moseying on over with their hands on their belt or something, and they're like, sport! Like, it's like, when did the gun come in? Like,
yeah.
Why do they do that now? Or why do they do that in those areas? I think our area is pretty much fine, but
yeah,
I don't know why they do that in other areas, like...
Over in St. Louis, they're
a
little trigger happy.
They have their guns out.
Well, and another problem is they keep the guns on their dominant side, and the taser on the non-dominant.
Because they think they're gonna use their gun more often, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I would do that same thing, honestly, just because recoil with your non-dominant hand is gonna like fuck you up.
Well,
yeah, but you can still like, reach across your waist, you know. Well, I guess
you can just pull it out and
I see what you're saying.
There's not going to be any recoil on a taser where you could just
right
pop that off real quick if you were using your left hand, but they don't. The problem is they don't seem to do that very often.
No, I'm saying like cops should use their tasers more. Maybe they should switch it up.
I mean, yeah, in certain countries, cops don't have guns at all, and I mean,
yeah,
that's why they don't have these problems all the time. And again, I mean, I don't know. Like I said with the gun law, when we were talking about the guns policy the other episode, like, let's just try something new, something different. Because yeah.
Have you watched the Watchmen TV show on HBO?
I know they have a thing with with guns, right? Like
yeah, like
you can't just like pull it out. You have to...
Yeah, it's like locked in their vehicle, and they have to get permission. Someone back at I guess the operator or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but dispatcher has to release it.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to get permission. Yeah, because I think one of the first episodes or something, like a cop is trying to have permission for his gun and he gets killed because he doesn't get it in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When that show came out, everyone was like, oh, this is going to be just shitting on Trump, like everything. But then it was actually, they live in like a liberal dream world, and they're just like shitting on that.
Yeah.
While also shitting on like the alt-right at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I only watched 3 episodes of it, but I felt like it was pretty interesting and balanced with the racial and political stuff.
I think so too.
Yeah. Trying to make sure I'm sounding good.
But main thing that happened this week was
the verdict.
Eric Chauvin.
Yeah.
Going to jail.
He's going to jail. You guys see the clip of Tucker Carlson?
Yeah.
You see it, Jerry?
I haven't watched it now.
It's Tucker Carlson interviewing a former police chief from some other state, and he's like, "I think it was excessive force. I think that they shouldn't have done that to George Floyd." And he's like, "Well, I care more about the city being destroyed." And he starts doing this like crazy laugh.
Yeah, and just kicks him off.
And then he goes, "So this interview's over." Like,
I'm kind of more worried about the rest of the country, which, thanks to police inaction, in case you haven't noticed, is like boarded up. So that's more my concern. But I appreciate you coming on, Ed Gavin. Thank you. Nope, done. Thank you.
This fucking strip kicks him off the interview.
Yeah, because he said, yeah.
Because he's like, obviously he's a white nationalist, and he's like, well, I can't have this on my channel. Right. I have to fearmonger. Well, and him and Ben Shapiro were both saying that day on 420, on the day that the verdict came out, they were like, there's still going to be a riot. They're still going to tear up the city. And there wasn't.
No.
There wasn't a riot. There was still a protest, but there wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
People went home. Like, that was it. That was the end of it. So.
No, yeah, that Tucker Carlson clip was.
I have the
insane.
I have like the screenshot saved of him doing the laugh.
Yeah.
Because people are like, make
it's
this
like
the new
Joker.
Yeah. He had a Joker moment. All because, and it's crazy that conservatives like Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson had little mini meltdowns over a cop going to jail for killing someone. And like, this happens all the time. And it's like one time the cop goes to jail.
Yeah.
How do you think
the guy he got on was like, yeah, I'm glad he's in jail. And Tucker Carlson's like, well, I'm not. I wish he was still out and free. He rightfully killed that man. I'm glad a black man's dead now.
I didn't say those words.
I know,
yeah.
but
he was like, well, I care more about the cities being burned down. It's like, what are you suggesting? That we need to just kill people to stop cities from...
Well,
are you saying killing people stops cities from being burned down? Like, what are you saying with that?
He was like, well, the police aren't... They're all boarded up. And then he laughs.
Yeah, he's like, they're all boarded up. And he laughs, like, because he thinks that's funny.
Yeah.
It was weird. You also had Ben Shapiro saying that great line where he was like, so Don Linham, he's like the black guy on CNN who's pretty much like the exact kind of liberal mouthpiece that nobody likes. You know, he's like that fucking guy. And he said justice was served, is what he said. And Ben Shapiro said they wouldn't have said this had the outcome been the opposite. And everyone's like, well, yeah. No shit. Because I guess
I don't know what.
Because I guess his definition is justice is no matter what the courts agree that's what it is, right? But a lot of people would argue that that's sometimes the court system fails. Like for example, with George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, people in the jury came out and said, yeah, all the white jurors would refuse to see Trayvon Martin as like a human being. And she said, what if Trayvon was your son? And she goes, yeah, but what if George was like your brother or something? And they're like, what do you mean? George like stalked the kid down and like shot him.
Yeah.
And so it's like that. So like sometimes the jury can be fucking stupid. And so justice isn't served. Or sometimes, lawyers aren't very good or whatever else, There's always something. But in this particular case, which the lawyer for the cop,
yeah,
he was fucking awful. His only defense for the cop was like, well, there is this data that suggests that George Floyd had a heart attack for different reasons.
Yeah.
While his leg was on his neck for, however long.
Well, they want to keep pushing that it was a fentanyl overdose.
Yeah.
And then he had 3 times the lethal amount, which is a lie.
Yeah, it's not true.
It's not true at all.
Yeah, it's weird because they just got their defense from watching Fox News, and it was like, that's your defense. Wow. No, because there's video evidence. You cannot argue he didn't have his leg on his neck. It's just
and then they had the prosecution had literally everyone come in, and they were all like, yeah, he died from lack of oxygen. Yeah. So no way he didn't.
Yeah, there's no way. It was so one-sided. The defense lawyer is terrible.
Yeah.
But again,
like, that
was such an uphill battle. There's no way you can win with all that video evidence.
Right. They're like, see how his left arm is angled that way? That makes the left lung have less room to breathe, and with the neck, there's no way you didn't die from it.
Which I watched Crowder's video where he imitates the same thing, where he has a cop with his knee on his neck, and it's the knee's clearly on his back, and then once the knee goes on his neck, Crowder looks up, he's like, oh, I can't, and then he moves the leg again. He moves it off his neck, and it's it was on his neck for a minute. He's like, no.
With it, his foot is not his foot to the side, so his knee is more into his neck. And then on the side, his other leg is off onto the side. It could be on the cement, on the concrete in the street. It could be, but still, you just see the pressure and it just.
And it's what are you? And he's like, see, I proved it. It's
no,
you fucking idiot. They just love manipulating information.
Yeah.
They just love if I can just present a lie to my audience. That's all that matters. It's just good enough. I have 3 million subscribers. Of course, YouTube demonetized him now because he's a fucking racist. But
Yeah.
We also need to talk about the Democrats and this for the response of the verdict.
Just Nancy Pelosi, really.
Nancy Pelosi. There's a few others, but
that was
they're all rich white people, and they're all saying "Thank you for dying."
Yeah.
They literally, she said, "Thank you for your sacrifice." The video of Pelosi's "Thank you for calling out for your mother and saying you can't breathe."
Thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice, for being there to call out to your mom. How heartbreaking was that? Call out for your mom. I can't breathe. But because of you, and because of thousands, millions of people around the world who came out for justice, your name will always be synonymous with justice.
What?
How is that the tone? Why are you saying thank you at all? She completely doesn't understand. But I mean, this is also the woman who, when George Floyd died, kneeled wearing the African shit.
She's so out of touch.
If it wasn't Nancy Pelosi, then there would be so many articles about, because cancel culture would fucking come for her. There'd be all this news media all over her being this bitch is racist. You cannot say thank you for your sacrifice. It's just
she was trying to say that the whole racial thing is over now because George Floyd.
That's the thing. She's there's nothing to celebrate.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is both sides are so afraid of black people.
They're
not even racist. Racist makes you think oh, they just hate them because they eat chicken and watermelon. They're genuinely terrified of black people.
Pelosi definitely is. That old ass bitch. There's no way she's not at this point.
Yeah.
It's proven at this point. But they know the Democrats are we are the ones who get black votes, so we have to appeal to them.
We have to,
But she doesn't know how to do that.
Because she doesn't actually care about black people.
She doesn't care about black people, and I would argue she doesn't care about most people.
Yeah, no.
Because she's rich and she hates the poor, so...
No, what was that? Was that Steven Crowder doing a video? It showed. So he showed Joe Biden giving a statement, and Joe Biden was like, "I really hope it's guilty. I pray that it's guilty."
Yeah.
And he said the jurors are sequestered or whatever, so they can't hear what.
I thought Biden said. I thought he just said, "I hope the verdict's the right verdict" or something.
No, he said I hope it's guilty.
I didn't know.
But it was
while the
jury is sequestered and making their decision.
Yeah.
Which means they cannot reach out to the outside world at all.
Yeah, once you're a part of the jury officially, you are not allowed to look into this shit anymore. So
yes, but this was even more so.
Right. This is when they're actually making their decision.
Right.
Which means you're completely cut off from everything.
Joe Biden said that he was they're sequestered, so they can't hear me say this, but I hope they make the right choice. And Steven Crowder's why did Joe Biden say that? he totally made the jurors biased, and now of course they're gonna because Joe Biden told them to, and it's like no, like
dude, who didn't tell them to? There's a fucking video of the cop with his leg on his fucking neck. Like, there was just like my mom texted me like, please guys, don't go to St. Louis, and please just be careful tonight. And I was like, it looks like I was watching the news and I was like, it looks like he's gonna be guilty though. And she's like, I know, that's what everyone's saying, but you can never be sure. And I was just like, I think he's gonna be guilty because there's just no way. It would be like you would have to I don't know, if it was not guilty, I don't even know what I would have done. I just would have been so confused. It's like, how? Like, did they all get paid off? Like, what happened?
At the same time, we were all unsure that it would be guilty. We were all like, there's still some kind of weird
apparently the reason why people were like really for sure is because the jury came to their conclusion like super fast.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, boom, done, easy. So
Ben Shapiro was like, how can you come to a decision that fast with so many conflicting arguments?
The case has been going on for like 2 weeks, right?
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah, the case has been going on for a while. Most of them probably already agreed what they were going to say.
Yeah, but
way before
it has the jury has to come to a unanimous decision.
I can't remember who was saying this. Maybe it was just on the news, but because I was like watching on the news as it was happening. They were like, imagine being like on the jury. Imagine you've never even seen the video before. And now you've watched the video, and now you have to watch like 4, 5, 6 times over and over and over. You're just watching a guy die from different angles.
I had never seen the whole video, and my friend told me we were arguing about it because he's fucking dumb and he was trying to defend him or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And it was straight up murder.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's really, there was no reason.
There's a point you can see where the cops are like, they're really frustrated and like, okay, we're done dealing with this guy, and then
and then they put him on the ground and he kneels on his neck.
Yeah.
And after about 5 minutes, he fucking passes out. He just completely goes limp, stops moving. And I'm like, why are you still kneeling on his neck then?
So I
was like, that's obviously murder. Like,
he was like unconscious at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the charges against him was like 2nd degree and 3rd degree. So 3rd degree is like you didn't mean to kill someone, but you did. And then 2nd degree is you didn't premeditate this. You didn't plan it.
No, but it's murder while committing accidental murder while committing felony.
Yeah. And
they said that he was committing assault.
Yeah.
And he accidentally killed George Floyd.
Yeah.
And that's the big one.
Yeah, it was 3 charges against him.
Yeah.
And they were all 3 guilty. So, there you go.
But now it's down to see, like, he's guilty, but what is the judge going to hand down?
Right, we don't know what's going to happen. But, I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be I want to assume it's going to be a lengthy sentence because what was charged against him, I have to look up, like, what is the typical response to 2nd degree murder, but like, he got charged with 2 different counts of 2nd degree, like, it was 2nd degree murder, 2nd degree manslaughter, and 3rd degree murder. And he was charged guilty of all 3, so.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, but since it's his first offense, he gets half.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
He gets half of the sentence. And I think the highest one was 2nd degree murder.
Yeah.
And that was like 25 years or something.
Yeah.
So
That's stupid.
At most, like, I don't know.
Well,
because I don't know how they do it if you're guilty of multiple charges.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have to stack them.
Yeah, I think it's up to the judge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just nice that there's a precedent now that it's like if you kill a citizen as a cop and it was it was unlawful, then you should go to jail. That's.
Hopefully that guy who shot the kid is gonna go to jail too. I mean,
that the cop who you're talking about the one with the 16-year-old girl? Or are you talking about
both of them?
The one at the traffic stop? I know that woman quit the force, which normally they just keep getting money from the force. Like normally they just they get a vacation.
The girl who the curb.
Yeah, she went to use her taser, but instead she like popped a cap in this kid.
No, I meant the 14-year-old boy who.
Oh yeah, I forgot him too. God damn it. Yeah, the guy who threw his gun and then he got shot up for it. Yeah, that guy needs to. Yeah, they're on trial right now for the guy who was on his hands and knees, and one guy said put your hands up, one guy said get down, and one guy said this and that, and then they just shot him after. He was like, what do you want me to do? And they just fucking killed him. Apparently they told him to bark like a dog at one point, and then they laughed. So it's just, and again, I told you at work, I didn't tell you on the podcast, but he does have an AR-15 with the phrase "you're fucked" scratched onto it. And after that happened, he requested to keep his AR-15 that he killed the guy with. And right now he is still currently making money from the police because he has PTSD from killing someone else. So he's getting like paid monthly for that.
Did you?
And he's on trial right now. It took like, he delayed it by like 2 years apparently.
I was gonna say that's an older.
Yeah, he delayed the trial for 2 years by like doing some like workaround shit.
Did you see? Speaking of the 14-year-old boy who turned around with his hands up.
Yeah.
The police union head of Chicago went on like CNN. It was like, no, the cop's right. He only had like 0.8 of a second to make sure he didn't have a gun or something.
Well, but he wasn't right because the guy didn't have a gun.
But it's the union. It's the
right.
Police union head.
Well, the union people are super about that shit because they're the people who fought for immunity in the first place. So.
Fucking pigs.
For some reason, the Republicans fucking despise unions except for police unions because the police do whatever the fuck they want. So.
Back the blue.
Back that blue, baby.
Yeah, in the video of the girl getting shot, the one with the knife. Apparently, people were yelling "back the blue" after he shot her.
Yeah.
Some like cops or something.
In that neighborhood, because it was like mostly a black neighborhood, and it looked like a nice neighborhood. I'm not gonna lie. They had like, it was like a couple, just like an older couple. It looked like. And the cops were saying like "back the blue" to them, and they're like, that's like an insult during like right now at this time, because like it was literally like her murder scene. Like the police were there because she was murdered, and they were saying "back the blue" to these black people, and it was like, or they're saying "Blue Lives Matter" to these black people. Blue Lives Matter is like "back the blue" is like, all right, if you're naive, fine. Like if you're just very naive and you don't pay attention to politics. Back to blue, fine. Blue Lives Matter is an active admission that you're saying fuck you to black people. You're saying black lives don't matter, cops' lives matter more. And there's only one way you can take it. When it's all lives matter, like that was one of those things, fine. If you're naive, fine. But it's one of those things, Blue Lives Matter is literally saying there's no other way to take it other than black people should just be killed if it puts the police's life in danger.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can take Blue Lives Matter. If there's another way to take it, I don't fucking know. Mm-hmm. Because if your narrative is that, like, all these killings were just, you're a fucking idiot. And now the law proves it. Because we at least have one time a cop actually got punished for this.
Well.
One time.
It was like, since 2008, there's been, like, 60,000 murders.
Yeah.
By cops. And only 8 people have been charged.
Yeah, well, yeah, almost all get thrown out before it even goes to court.
Yeah,
because what they do is they get a state hired attorney for the victims basically, and then they just don't even try. Mm-hmm. And then they overload the jury with information. And what I mean by that is like they just tell them stuff that's not important to the case at all. Sometimes stuff that just makes the person look bad. Like, I don't know. They're basically saying, like, maybe he did deserve to be killed. Like, that's literally what they do. And there's video evidence of it, like, of lots of lawyers doing, like, press conferences saying what they said. It's like, yeah, that's not your job. Your job is not to present all the facts. Your job is literally to create a narrative. And it's 2 opposing narratives. That's literally the point of what lawyers do. And normally I would say, yeah, it's fucked up that you're, like, only focusing on the parts that make you sound good. But they're doing that too. So if you're not doing that, you're gonna fucking lose. So yeah, they don't. It's like they're just doing it wrong on purpose.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's why cops get away with it so much. And it's hard to explain it to people because it basically relies on them believing the idea that the police and like the state government and stuff is corrupt, and people don't always want to just jump to that. But I got sour news for you.
Don't you love it when Ben Shapiro says he's a libertarian, then goes
and then he's
and
like
sucks,
super
yeah,
he like
he sucks
loves
cops' dicks all the time.
Loves cops,
yeah.
even though libertarians should want nothing to do with cops.
Yeah.
I'm a libertarian. However, I'm also someone who just backs everything Republicans do no matter what. It's almost like I'm not a libertarian. Also, I'm a racist.
Yeah. Such a piece
Also, I'm homophobic and transphobic. And I don't even try to hide it.
I can't get over that tweet. I don't even get it. What,
he
what are you trying to say? Like
justice? Like you wouldn't have said justice was served had the cop gotten away with murder.
Right.
Yeah, because that's not justice.
Right.
Yeah. No shit. No, he's trying to say like, would you say that no matter what? He's basically saying like if because he believes Floyd deserved or he believed Floyd died of his own like doing.
Yeah. Right.
So he would say, you know, if the courts decided, you know, that what happened was he was not guilty, then he would say that should be considered justice. Whereas I totally disagree with that. I think law and morality are two different things. And I think just because there's a law, like law doesn't even exist, first of all. The way we think law exists is not real. All they do in law school is go over things that like happened in the past that are contradictory because like there's loopholes out the ass because there's so many court cases where like something happened, but this version, the same thing happened, but one thing was different.
Yeah.
So maybe that one variable is the reason why it's legal or not legal because judges just say shit. Like things just happen and that's law in America. It's not real.
And,
like it's all very arbitrary and vague.
And every court sets a precedent.
Right.
That other lawyers in court case like they look back at it and they're like, well,
which is why this case is important.
Right. And they're like, well, because this happened in this court and you're getting charged for the same thing, so you're
a lot of cops do the thing where they put their leg on their they put their knee on their neck.
Yeah.
So now we know that if you put your knee on your neck, you go to jail. That's very important.
Right. It happens in the like every Supreme Court decision is a precedent.
Yeah.
That's why Joe v. Wade matters so much. Roe v. Wade, same thing.
No, not same thing. Yeah, Roe v. Wade. Yeah.
That's why it matters so much because they set a precedent that abortion's legal or whatever.
Yeah. Which is why they always want to overturn that.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll just return it. We'll just turn it back. You overturn it, we're gonna turn it right back. Don't think we won't. We will.
What's the Supreme Court even doing now?
I don't know what they're working on right now. I do know that gay marriage is back on the ticket. They might make gay marriage illegal again.
Oh my god!
And right now the Supreme Court's stacked with Republicans.
Why?
I
don't get that.
Because Donald Trump was like 3 Supreme Court justices, even though I was only president for 4 years.
But like, why do they want to?
It's so fucking stupid. It doesn't. Even, that's the worst system ever. The Supreme Court makes no fucking sense.
Why do they want to overturn? It's not unconstitutional. I don't know why they want to.
Yeah,
gay marriage is not unconstitutional.
There's no way you can argue it is. That's
right.
It's impossible.
Unless you're living in a Christian theocracy, which we are not. You know,
and marriage isn't
we
even
are a little bit.
Well, yeah,
well, we shouldn't be.
Marriage is not even like a Christian thing, but for some reason,
I know, and I mean, everyone has the right to religious freedom. So why?
Right. Yeah.
Why do we have to live under your religion?
Right.
Just because you're in charge, you know?
Yeah, it makes no sense. Hey man, when Bush went to war with Iraq, he brought up God a lot. A fucking lot.
This is what God would want us to do.
He was like, we have to kill Muslims because they're the enemy of God. And I was like, oh, so
we're just straight up
the
same God.
Yeah, even though Allah is God.
Yeah.
Oh, so we are just straight up saying it, the quiet part out loud in 2004. We are just kill brown people.
Man. in the Muslim ban.
Yeah.
Trump was just like,
Trump was like,
no Muslims.
He's like living in the wrong decade. Like no one was even mad at Muslims anymore. Like,
you just don't hang around.
Well, I mean, like alt-right people were, but like,
because this happened in like 2016.
Yeah, it was like right after he was like president. Yeah, it was like a few months after.
I think it wasn't even that long.
It was really shockingly quick. How quick he tried to do the Muslim ban.
I think there was a lot of shit going on with Muslim people, and he was just like, instead of helping them, I'm gonna kick them out. I'm not gonna let anyone else in.
That's when the
he wanted to be
Syrian refugee crisis was pretty steady going on at that point.
Trump wanted to be an isolationist while also but only inward. Outward, he wanted to fuck with everyone else and get in on their business action and put.
He wanted to be China.
Yeah, while trying to fuck with China, because he was it China that he put the tariffs? He did something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was China.
Yeah. Yeah, he was fucking with China hardcore while also just trying to replicate what they do. Mm-hmm. Which is also why he backed out of the global warming... the Paris Agreement, because he's like, well, China doesn't have to do it, but China was doing it. He's like, but China's doing it way worse, so we don't have to do it. And it's like, no. The point of the Paris Agreement is we're all coming together as a whole global world. And he's like, no, fuck you. I don't believe in global warming. Ha ha ha. Yeah. It's like, well, you're dumb. You're a dotard, as Kim Jong-un would say.
He got Twitter just to say dotard.
Yeah, he just called Trump a dotard.
He didn't even say Trump. He just tweeted he just dotard.
Yeah.
For being one of the worst people on this planet right now, goddamn, that guy is awesome. Just for that tweet.
Just for that one tweet.
Dotard.
He did eventually meet Trump in person, and which is funny because they shit talked so much.
I know.
They met in person. South Korea, North Korea became friends for the first time. North Korea is still a fucking terrible, awful place.
Yeah. Horrible.
And I think part of why South Korea and North Korea even came to good terms is because South Korea just let North Korea still do horrible things. Like, fine, we don't even care. Just do horrible things. We don't even care.
There's literally nothing we can do to North Korea.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Because they are backed by China and Russia.
Yeah.
So if we fuck with them, it's World War III.
It's World War III.
Immediately.
Which is why first thing Trump does is get in office. Fuck you, North Korea.
Yeah.
It's like, stop.
Remember when we were like...
We had like a Cold War with them.
I know. We literally did. There was like... It was actually a threat that North Korea would nuke us. Like...
Yeah, even before, even when it was Kim Jong-il, it was a threat for a long time.
Yeah. But it wasn't as bad as it was when Trump was in office.
It got scarier, yeah. It got scarier.
It got really bad.
Because Trump was literally like, just do it.
I know.
He was like, do it, bitch.
He's like, I'm going to do it if you don't.
And they're like, are you trying to call us bluff? And he's like, yeah. Like, you can't. It's not. No. You can't wager. Like, you can't make that bet. And he's like, oh, but I'm going to.
He's like,
it worked
if
out.
You don't do it on Tuesday, I'm going to do it.
It worked out to his credit, but it's just like, don't do that.
He
like,
risked,
really don't do
that. He like literally risked the entire world.
What an ego on
that.
He risked it all.
He risked
starts playing Lose Yourself by Eminem. Listen, you only got one shot, one chance.
I'm not like
to create peace between America and North Korea.
I'm not trying to like hyperbole, but like he risked literally the entire planet.
He literally was like, Kim Jong-il, do you want to die and lose your country? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck. Like, he's unstable and great. Like, these were both unstable, crazy leaders.
I think that's why they ended up getting along.
Yeah.
Is it was
well, I don't know if they got along per se, but yeah.
I think they were like calling each other like
dotard.
Well, I saw a video of Trump like saying something, and Kim Jong, like when they're in person, Kim Jong Un just like stares at him like he's like Jim from The Office. He's like looking around, like everyone. He's like,
well, you can't speak English.
He's like, what the fuck?
Wait, actually, I think
he could probably speak some English. Yeah,
he went to boarding school in like England or something.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
But that
and he's had like a fake name, and everyone and like the teachers in faculty are like, I think that's Kim Jong Il's son. Like, I think that's his actual son. They're like, oh shit. Because he was just like, I'm Korean. They're like, which Korea? Korean.
There's only one rich family from North Korea.
And he's like, well, the only Korea that matters. And they laugh and they go, yeah, which one is that again?
So South Korea, right?
South Korea.
And he just like
North,
he writes down their names.
Right, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. Don't worry about this. I probably won't even be dictator someday. I probably won't. My dad, he lives forever. He's a god, you know.
This may never come up again, but
But if it does, you might want to.
Yeah.
Leave
No, I mean, like, if North Korea nuked us, we would immediately nuke them and Russia and China.
Yeah, we'd have to.
And then Russia would nuke every. Yeah, it would have literally destroyed the entire planet.
We'd be living in Fallout world.
No, we would all be dead.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like we'd be fine.
No, we would all be dead. Every single person.
Yeah, if Russia and China and North Korea all were like pinpointing together were to strike on America, there's a strong chance that all of America would die.
Well, even if we nuked North Korea first, Russia and China would retaliate immediately.
Yeah.
And they both have enough nukes to destroy the world like 72 times or something.
Yeah.
And they're just going to launch them fucking all. Like,
man.
And if we nuked North Korea, we would probably nuke China and Russia as well. Because we know.
I just want to be like, guys, if we nuke North Korea, hypothetically, can we just go to normal war after? Because we don't want to have to nuke you guys too.
Yeah.
But we'll go to normal war. You want normal war?
It's never.
But we don't want to be nuked in our sleep. We're not going to nuke you in your sleep. We're not going to nuke you in your sleep. We only want to nuke North Korea.
Yeah. That's the whole scary thing about it. It's like if one nuke launches, it's the end of the world.
When 9/11 happened, like a few years after 9/11, Carlos Mencia had this stand up where he's like, "Man, you guys fucking with America. You don't know what we did to Japan." And I'm always just like, we're not the only country with nukes anymore.
Yeah.
We were the only ones back then.
That's why we did it. Like,
we were the only fucking ones.
Do you not remember the Cold War?
And that's when we learned. That's when we did a little science experimentation. And we can never do that again. No more nukes. Just need to not exist.
No, nukes will never not exist.
Right.
Every country is going to stockpile them because if one country nukes another, it's it. Yeah. That's the end of the planet. We're done.
Yeah.
That's why everyone says
we're in the end game now. Anytime we just evaporate. Yeah. You probably won't even feel it because it'd probably just be in the blink of an eye. Like,
yeah, that's
where we live. We'd probably, if we died, it would probably be from fallout and radiation poisoning, where your skin sloughs off.
I don't know.
No, we're really close to St. Louis.
It depends where they. I mean,
okay, so I'm not. You guys would probably.
But I mean, it would.
If they launch a bunch, if they launch like all their nukes, they could.
They would. Well, okay, if they're gonna launch
the country, yeah.
If they're gonna launch one nuke, they're gonna launch them all because it's the end of the world anyway.
Well, they're gonna have to attack.
I hate
Canada and England as well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but they have enough.
They will.
Yeah, they literally have enough.
Like, okay, guys, we're gonna have to.
Russia alone has enough to blow up the entire world. Like
we're gonna have to blow up half the world and pray to God they don't blow us up back. And they're like, yeah, Russia don't. And like, why not? It solve all of our problems right now.
Yeah,
we could be the #1 country now. No, Russia, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Who's any? Oh, Russia's actually really close to England, so they should probably not do that. Also, Russia wants to conquer land. Like that always seems to be their thing. They always want to expand, make Russia bigger. So
if anything, if there was,
they'd probably turn more towards like Hitler 2.0 or something.
Yeah.
And just like conquer everything.
They really want to take over Ukraine.
Right? Yeah.
They're like
that's been a thing for fucking like 5 years now. Like,
it's been way
no, I know, but like
longer.
Oh yeah. But like they've been like we've been at war for for a while
after the Cold War.
Right? Yeah, but like they've been like literally on their land like taking bit by bit for a while.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, America does it. That's literally what they say.
America's like, no, it's only okay when we do it.
Yeah, okay. It's like maybe we shouldn't do it, and then Russia won't do it. But it's just crazy. War is just insane, and we still do it. We still do it. Yeah. Knowing everything we know now, we still are in war right now with countries who probably don't deserve it.
A lot of experts say that World War III will be the end of the world because it would be a nuclear war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If one country gets bad enough to drop it, then
everyone's
it's over.
Yeah.
So yeah, war is bad. There's nothing patriotic about it. If you're a nationalist, you're actually retarded, and you need to just read a book. Join the global communion. We're all humans. Fighting over, like, caring about borders is ludicrous. It makes no sense. If you care, you're dumb. Imagine there's no heaven. Because when you die from nuclear war, you ain't going there.
Yeah.
Imagine all the people, skin melting off their bones. You. Yeah, no, it's not good. But we still do it constantly over the dumbest stuff things. Now, we could have just made peace and possibly negotiate getting resources that way. But there's a possibility that they'll tell us no. Now they all need to die. Now we need to occupy this land and take what we need from it.
Yeah.
Which is why, never get it twisted, Iran is a very rich land. It's full of resources. That's why we always fuck with them. Don't get it twisted. That's why Trump just started drone striking the fuck out of them for no reason when we had an agreement. We had a peace deal with them. Why do we have a peace deal with Iran? Because they have a huge nuke stockpile. So that's why we have a peace agreement with Iran. And Biden was like, yeah, I'm going back. So I was the vice president for the guy who made that agreement with you. I'm going back in it. I'm not going to bomb you guys anymore. So we cool. And they're like, oh, we're fine. We're cool. But we kind of have to be because you're fucking America and you have an $80 billion military. You're gonna,
yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating the number, so.
I think that was in underestimation.
Yeah, actually, I said billion. And I think it's trillion.
Yeah.
It's actually, and I just said 80. I think it's 800 trillion.
Yeah, I was gonna say 80 billion is
that's nothing. No, 80. I think the I got the numbers wrong.
That's 80, enough to build a plane.
80 billion was what we need to have free college, and then 800 trillion is what we spend on the military, and that's what we're saying. Just take it from that.
And no, we have to conquer the world, but legally, because
we have to find a loophole.
We have to do it our
because way. This country is ran by fucking crazy people who are still people always make the joke that Putin is still a KGB guy who believes in USSR. He probably is, but we're still the same motherfuckers too. We haven't changed either.
George Bush was the director of the CIA.
Yeah. Wait, senior or junior?
Senior.
Senior.
And then Junior was supposedly at the JFK assassination. He was...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Over, I think he was on the grassy knoll, or, in that general area.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. We just need... I think it was the 70s or the 60s where they made it to where, you have to spend millions and millions of dollars to become president. And no, we did that one year, and then it was 60s and 70s. No. 60s and 70s when we did the $1 million thing. Then before that, in the earlier times, I don't remember the exact time, so I don't want to say the wrong date. That's when we made it to where it was mostly two part. It has to get to two people. I don't think it mattered what party they came from, but it was two people. You get to you primary them, and then you vote on two people, and it's the combination of the two has created an absolute clusterfuck. So,
which
it's the reason why we have no real valid choice, and we always have to pick between a corrupt person who has an agenda or someone else who's very corrupt and has an agenda. So, and half the time they're on the same team anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like right now, how Biden has still not done anything about the kids in cages. You know, I'm counting.
He gave them better blankets, so that's something, right? Like,
no.
Yeah, two-party system is a lie. It's actually the one-party system.
Yeah,
they're both the same.
I've been reading how like other countries just say America has two right-leaning parties.
It's really how it is.
Even in Canada, they say that. Like even in Canada, our fucking neighbors ragging on us. Come on, you're embarrassing me in front of Canada. Not cool, guys.
Yeah,
we used to make fun of Canada on the daily.
And they're like the Alabama of North America.
Yeah, no, they're really not much. Like their country sucks ass. I won't lie, their country sucks, but they have better things than us. And they have rules that make more sense than us.
Oh, I saw my friend sent a TikTok and it was like the U.S. with 25% of its population vaccinated, Canada with 8% of its population vaccinated, and he's like, "How's that healthcare working out for you?" I was like, "Dude, the vaccines are free. Like, we're using social medicine with the vaccines.
Yeah, we're using a socialized system.
So
the government is paying for it.
I don't know what you're trying to say here.
Everything that you guys all complain about.
Yeah, I was like, you're dumb, because we are using Canada's the same medicine practice. Like,
part of why it's good in America is because it's like privatized. So, like, these companies can't share information with each other because they're in a competition. That means we'll get the best fucking thing because it's a competition. That means we'll get the best possible medicine. But only one of them will have the best possible medicine. And that's why the Johnson & Johnson vaccine exists. You see, imagine, if you will, a world where they all had like the Pfizer data. And Johnson & Johnson just said, hey, we're just going to do what they're doing. And then we just had a shit ton of supplies of like the vaccine that was 99% foolproof. But we don't. Because we can't share our info for life-saving medicine with each other, which is what other countries do. There is no competition. They all just have the best data and they make the best stuff. And which, by the way, yeah, Canada like leads the world in some forms of medicine. Then they lead the world in like surgery or something like that. Like, you cannot make fun of Canada's healthcare scene. It's literally better than ours. In fact, almost every country has better healthcare than us, except we pay more. The only thing we beat them on is we pay more for it. So,
for shittier healthcare.
Yeah, we pay more for shittier healthcare because competition doesn't inspire greatness at all. It never does. So I just don't know why that's even a talking point. Which is when you explain that, the whole libertarian mindset completely falls apart, because that's everything they have based on is about how competition leads to better, what's the word? I want to say improvement, but that's not the right word. Competition just leads, innovation. Competition inspires innovation. Not true. If you ever hear someone say that, they're wrong. That's not true. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
I think there is some truth in that, but I think it makes sense to have a base to start from. Like,
yeah.
Like, for instance, if our power grid wasn't, if the government ran it instead of it being privatized,
yeah,
and then a private company came out and actually found a way to make it cheaper, then it would be like, okay, or better in some way. Like,
a friendly competition.
Yeah.
Friendly competition is like, you get the credit and glory for discovering this. However, we are all going to take advantage of it. Now, maybe you pay a fee, but the thing is, they will get like what do you call it? When you get like your stamp of approval, like you trademark it for yourself.
Yeah.
They copyright it. And then no one can use it. It's just for them. So copyrights and stuff like that, and like having full ownership of stuff, that's when this whole argument completely dwindles and falls apart. Like, you can't have that stuff in a competition because now you're just cheating, you know? Like, I don't know. It's like the Beatles, they made great music when they were friendly competing with each other. John and Paul were always egging each other on. Then one day George Harrison was like, actually, I make better music than both of you. And they're like, fuck you, George. And then they just But then they broke up, and none of their solo stuff was as good as when they were all together.
Right.
So it's like, that's how it is. Like, you gotta... Friendly competition is a good thing.
Friendly competition and then collaboration is good.
Collaboration is going to be the best. So, in my opinion.
But you gotta go.
Yeah, Shane's got to leave.
You want to just wrap it up here?
You don't want us to talk without you?
I'm okay. Yeah.
No, it's okay. We're almost at the hour mark. Yeah, okay. We can wrap it up here. This was I wanted to put fun stuff in this one because the last one was really fun, but we had to talk about that shit. So we had to talk about that shit.
Put Tucker Carlson.
Nancy Pelosi is very funny to me. So I mean, Pelosi's response, how does this woman even have any credibility? It's beyond me. Tucker Carlson's a Republican. His fans are dumb. Nancy Pelosi, why do we defend this?
So angry that a cop went to jail. Oh my god.
Why do we defend Nancy Pelosi? I don't know. I mean, we don't, but still. And I'm glad that like people like Hassan have like a bajillion subscribers now, because it's becoming more of the norm for young people to be like, yes, you can be left leaning, and we're just gonna shit on the Democrats. We're just gonna shit all over them because they suck ass. And yeah, it's true. The Democratic Party in this country is ran by fucking idiots and corrupt people mainly. It's mostly corrupt people. And Republicans who just call themselves Democrats. Yeah.
Which is
what a neoliberal is, and the neoliberals took over, I think, and yeah. The neoliberals took over the Liberal Party, and yep. And we just never reversed the effects of Ronald Reagan since. So, there you go.
Oh, and I didn't remember to bring it up earlier, and there's not a whole lot to talk about with this anyway.
Okay.
But just to keep it in our heads for next week, it just passed the House today that DC may become the 51st state.
DC might become a state, yes.
So we might have more to talk about next week.
That would be very interesting. Yeah. I don't even have much of an opinion on that. So I'll have to look into it.
Same. I just saw it.
Yeah. It's just to give the people who live there some representation in Congress and electoral votes and stuff.
It could potentially change elections for a while, I guess, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. That would also open up Puerto Rico to statehood.
That would be great,
Puerto Rico,
too.
Yeah, they should. Puerto Rico should.
Did you guys know that Hawaii is not even a proper state? It was totally conquered, and we just stole it from them, and we're just this is America now.
I mean, that was all the states.
Well, I know, but Hawaii is
Hawaii used to be
people
monarchy.
People in Hawaii still people people who are actually of the descent, Hawaiian descent, will be we are not American. They fight back. They hate this. They hate America.
I've been to Hawaii, and I met someone who's
pretty cool.
Did you know in Hawaii, if you are homeless, you can sleep anywhere, and it's illegal to kick you off any property.
Good.
Because of
we should do something.
It's a law that stuck through when they become a state. That was in effect when they were still a kingdom, a monarchy.
Hey, America can literally afford to feed and house all homeless people, so we should do it.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.